What's going on, everybody? What's happening? What's happening? What's going on? Come on in the room. Come on in the room. Boy, BOJ here. We are here to discuss some things. Haven't been on live in a little while, so I'll give y'all a little bit of time to come on in. I didn't announce it or anything like that. I just felt like hopping on and talking about this stuff while it's fresh on my mind. There's so many things going on, so many exciting things going on here in the BLJ world, and hopefully you guys are excited about your future as well. We've got a lot of amazing things that are going on right now in the space that we're involved in, this beautiful, wonderful crypto space. And we're going to share some of it, but we're also going to talk about some of the things that have caught my attention too. So y'all come on in. All right, y'all come on in. Say what's up. If you're tuning in from somewhere, it doesn't matter where you're tuning in from. You could be tuning in from your living room, your tablet, your cell phone, wherever you're tuning in from. If you're down the street or in Albuquerque, across the country, across the world, let me know where you're tuning in from. We're going to get this thing going around 8 o'clock. So it gives you some time to share this with somebody, get them on in this room. Let them know, hey, BOJ is on live. He's talking some good stuff today, and he ain't going to be on long. All right. Now, he always says that he ain't going to be on long and ends up being on for like an hour and a half, 2 hours. But tonight, we do plan on being done, hopefully no later than 9 o'clock, 9:30 at the very latest. All right. So y'all come on in, come on in, come on in. We're going to be talking about a few different things today. We're going to be talking about Movequest, of course. There are some very exciting things that I don't want all my Movequesters out there to miss. So if you are a Movequester, you're going to want to stick around. If you're not a Movequester, you're still going to want to stick around, because when I tell you this is the #1 crypto project / protocol that is out there in the space right now, I'm willing to bank on that. I put my flag in and I stamp that. All right. Movequest is poised to be the most life-changing project of 2026. And I'm stamping that. I'm stamping that. You want to hear why? Come on in. You want to hear why? Come on in. I'll tell you why, but you got to come on in the room, all right? Come on in the room. It is 7:52. I also want to answer any of you guys' questions. If you guys have some questions about the status of the space, you can always feel free to ask me if I've heard of any projects. You know, right now I'm only focused really on Movequest, and through the Movequest opportunity, I've been able to learn a lot about cryptocurrency in general. I'm still not an expert. I will never proclaim to be an expert on cryptocurrency, but I am an enthusiast. I am excited about the prospects that cryptocurrency gives us. And I do believe that a lot of us are going to be so grateful that we took this time during this season of our lives to learn about cryptocurrency. That's how to secure it, how to acquire it, how to transact it, and how to take part of projects that are really poised to be life-changing. All right. You're going to see a lot of things in this space, as we all have over the years. You're going to see some things that look really good and then don't turn out to be so good. All right. But all in all, we are here, BOJ. I'm here to always be on the lookout for projects that I do believe have some promise, have some great technology behind them, some legit technology behind them, because there are a lot of amazing technological advances here in the cryptocurrency world. And if we're not taking some time to learn about a few of them, then we'll get left behind. And we don't want anybody to be left behind. All right. So there are going to be some things that some projects are going to have you to learn. All right. Don't take it lightly. Take some time. It doesn't take a whole lot of time to learn some of the things that we need to learn here in the crypto space. All right. But y'all come on in. Let me know where you're tuning in from. Whatever city, state, province, region, country, wherever it is that you might be tuning in from. We're going to start talking around 8 o'clock. All right, it is 7:54 right now, so give you some time. And for those of you that are watching the replay, you can go ahead and just skip along. You can move on forward for another 5 minutes or so, and you'll see us getting this dialogue started. But for those that are tuning in live, come on in. Let me know where you're tuning in from, all right? Let me know where you're tuning in from. We're going to get this thing started in just a few minutes. I got some things that have come across my desk. I have some... it's funny I say come across my desk like there's some other opportunities like I'm interested in. And not saying that I'm the most closed off person right now. I still do keep my eye open on things going on out in the space. But one of the things that's going on right now in the space is that there are folks that really truly believe that platforms are going to come back when they leave. And that's one thing we're going to talk about on this episode tonight of BOJ Speaks. All right. Or BOJ Talks, whatever it says. It says one of the two. But ladies and gentlemen, we are still excited about the prospects of everything that has the opportunity to happen here in the crypto space. And we just want to share it. We want to talk about it. So come on in. We're going to get this dialogue started in about 4 minutes. It is 7:56. If there's any questions you guys want me to answer tonight, feel free to drop them in the chat. Try to keep my chat on and live so folks can go ahead and drop whatever they want to in there. My brother Anthony DeLoach is in the building. What's going on, my brother? Shout out to you and everything that you've got going on. Now, listen, I love my colleagues in this space. I love all y'all, especially my brother Anthony DeLoach. He's one of the first people I ever watched in this space. I think the platform was like Qubit Life or something like that. But it's folks like that that let me know that these things were out here, they were real, and they were. It was possible to make an income talking about them. And it started this journey that I've gone on to really kind of dive into some of these amazing projects out here. So thank you, Anthony DeLoach. I am trying, man. I feel like I miss all the events because of other events, right? And for those of you that know me, I know my brothers know me, and my sisters know me. They know that I am a singer. I'm an entertainer. I do a lot of weddings and corporate events on the weekends. And when all the fun events are going down all over the world, all over the United States, where my crypto constituents in my platform family, they get to participate in all this cool stuff. And I am also participating in pretty cool stuff. I must say, being involved in some of the most important days of people's lives, I do not take that job lightly at all. However, I would love, absolute LOVE, love to be on a boat in March in Miami, kicking it with some of the folks that I have built relationships with over the years. I know that day will come. I know that day is going to come. Time freedom is on my timeline. I promise you that. Right along with financial freedom as well. And it's on my timeline. I can see it very clearly. It just doesn't have a date next to it. But I can see it. I can see it. So I wish I could, my brother, but I know y'all going to have a great time, and I know there's going to be plenty of pictures. I know there's going to be so much game shared, and I just can't wait to hear the recap from all of that stuff going on, and I can't miss too many more. I know they're going to keep happening, you know what I'm saying, but I can't take these opportunities for granted. One of these days I'm going to have to just call out and say, hey, look, I can't do that. I need to go and be with my people. Blue Sky is in the building. Blue Sky, what's happening? Blue Sky is always supporting, so shout out to you, Blue Sky 8700, always supporting, and we'll give you an emoji for sure. All right, doesn't say too many words, but we'll give you an emoji. It might give you a few if you're nice. So thanks for tuning in. It's 7:59. We're gonna get this thing started in just a few seconds, y'all. I don't want to belabor, but there's so much stuff going on, and y'all know my favorite platform out here in the space is Movequest. I have been in Movequest since August of 2024, and it came to me at the most perfect time in my life for what I am trying to accomplish in my life, and it's really changed my life. It's changed the way that I am locked into my health from a physical standpoint. Hasn't quite changed all my eating habits yet. And as y'all know, some of that stuff right there is some of the hardest stuff to get right? Especially when you're trying to lose some unwanted pounds. You gotta eat right too. You gotta eat in a way that supports what your goals are, all right? Because that's gonna be different. I'm no nutritionist or anything like that, but eating right is definitely going to vary depending on what your goals are. All right, so let me apply a little chapstick because when I start running my mouth a little bit, his lips get a little dry. So it's 8 o'clock, y'all. Welcome on in. Thanks for you guys for tuning in. Always feel free to drop anything you want in the chat, as long as it's appropriate. You know what I'm saying? We always try to address it. And now that I'm using OBS, I can see my actual chat right here on my screen. So that is awesome. Hopefully all of you guys can hear me and see me okay. Now listen, as we all know, I am a person that has been in this space for some years. I never claim to know everything, all right? So I'm going to start off by saying this. I also say all the time that I am not a financial advisor. I'm not your financial advisor, and this is not financial advice, all right? The things that you see me do in this space have been and always will be coming from my own personal experience, coming from my own personal choices, and of course, anybody that decides that they want to experience similar things, you can always come and watch me and see what I'm doing. I've branched off into other things. I do a lot of different fitness stuff now. I'm not a trainer or anything like that, but I started posting my fitness journey, and I also share a little series that I like to call Talking to Y'all Like I Talk to Myself, in which I have, hopefully you guys are all talking to yourself in positive ways on a day-to-day basis, but it's a chance for me to reflect and talk to myself. And while I was already doing that in my life, I just felt that, somebody out there, whether it's one, two, or a few, some of y'all might benefit from some of the thoughts that I share with myself on a day-to-day basis. And I'm not all peaches and cream every day. Some days I'm harder on myself than others. But I think that positive self-talk is something that everyone needs to add into their regimen, all right? You got to speak good to yourself. You got to talk good to yourself. So I'll just start right there. And especially when in a time right now where mental health is extremely important, some of us have personally dealt with mental health, and that awareness part of that. Some of us have family members and friends that are dealing with mental health. Some of us see it on the news, and some of us are experiencing it firsthand. And I just want to let everybody know that we need to bring more awareness to this, because there's a lot of folks taking themselves out of here, and we hear stories about even folks that have been involved in this space that have not practiced a responsible level of risk management. You know what I'm saying? We have gotten into this space, and we've believed in certain things at a level where we really truly believed that those things were going to change our financial future. And then all of a sudden they turn around and they're gone, right? We've lived that. And if you haven't lived that in this space, then God bless you. Hopefully you're attached to something now if you're in this space that you believe in, but you're also practicing risk management strategies. All right. It is very, very important because we can get so excited as humans. We can get so emotional, and we can make some not so smart decisions with our time, with our finances, and we let our emotions take over. All right. So I'm just letting you guys know as we go into this journey. I know we don't talk about it a whole lot, but we got to start talking about our mental health just a little bit more. And that's why I started my Talking to Y'all Like I Talk to Myself, because I do believe that mental health is extremely important. And I want you guys to see an example of someone that I'm not perfect. I'm not perfect by any means. I have failed at many things, but to fail at many things, that means you got to try many things, and I'm not afraid to try. I'm not afraid to take a risk. I'm not afraid to do that. But for folks that do that, you got to talk good to yourself, because some of those failures can make you feel the type of way about yourself and make you not want to continue on. And you got to be able to encourage yourself. All right. Anthony Deloach say, of course you need to get on that golf course. You and Lambo be tripping. All right, y'all need to get on that golf course. And listen, I already told Lambo, when we get on the golf course, we ain't messing around with them golf carts. All right, now maybe for the first time, I'll let y'all get away with the golf part. But if we playing 9 holes, we walking that bad boy. All right, we gonna get some work in while we get some good camaraderie and get some good together time. And I'm gonna hold Kennard to that same thing too. We gonna walk that 9. All right, may not make y'all walk 18, but we gonna walk 9. All right. Blue Sky says BLJ's words are so encouraging, much appreciated. I'm just talking to you like I'm talking to myself. That's right. And that's what I try to do. I really just try to let folks know that you can talk to yourself good. And I'm a person that has experienced loss in many different ways. And I won't get into all that tonight. Maybe there'll become a time one day where I'll talk about all that I have lost. Some of it I've lost in front of all of you guys. Some of it I've lost in front of the world. But yet, if you talk, I just feel like if you have some good things to say about yourself and to yourself, you're going to be all right. You just keep taking it day by day. You keep stacking days. You try to make the best of every 24 hours that God gives you, and you move forward the best that you can. All right. So thank y'all for that. So with all that being said, we were kind of talking about platforms, and y'all know I have gotten my following from being involved in these different crypto platforms and these different PAM accounts and these different things of that nature that are passive income, right? And when I say passive income, a lot of people get excited about passive income because they don't have to do anything but have funds, right? And that's where I think that we really, the dream is always to be able to make some money in your sleep and make some money theoretically without having to do anything. But even the folks out there that look like they're making money in their sleep, I promise you, they're probably sleeping a lot less than you because of the work that they have put in previous to that. The work that it takes to get to that point where you can theoretically make money in your sleep. You don't just get that just from having money. You get that from learning a few things. You get that from learning a trade. You get that from learning a skill. You get that from applying a skill and then leveraging that skill. You might leverage that between a network. You might leverage that between technology, however you decide to leverage it. But you have to make some choices that position you for that kind of passive income. So the trap that is passive income in this crypto space, right? And I'm calling it like I see it. It's a trap. It's this thing where we believe that just because it's crypto, right? Just because it's new and it's this thing that we have seen explode before, we've seen over the last few years what Bitcoin has done and all these different coins and all this stuff, which is great. Now we've been able to see it scale and see it go up. But we also get this thing where if we think that if we just take a little money and throw it at something, and just because somebody else said it's worked for them, we think it's going to work for us, and then we think it's going to work forever. And that's not the case. It's especially not the case in this crypto space. Now, there are some things I'm very confident in. There's some technologies that I believe are not going anywhere. Do I believe Bitcoin is going anywhere? Absolutely not. Do I believe that crypto is going anywhere? Absolutely not. Do I think stocks are going anywhere? Absolutely not. Do I think that opportunities in investment in crypto and stocks, do I think that they're going anywhere? Absolutely not. Do I think opportunities in real estate and all the different things out there for us to take part in, do I think they're going away? Absolutely not. All right? Now, the notion that it's just going to be money we just go collect every week or month or day or whatever the case may be without doing nothing but having money and making a deposit, that is where we need to shake that. We need to shake that off. And especially us in this space. If you think for a prolonged period, and I've been through this in many different scenarios, many different platforms, many different opportunities. If you truly believe that you're just going to be able to take your crypto and then just deposit it somewhere and it's just going to forever give you a return on your money, that's not how cryptocurrency works. Crypto works because it's built on technology, but it's also built on a community, right? Now, the technology has to work. It has to work for the community to have belief. It has to serve a purpose for the community to believe in purchasing the asset, and not only purchasing it, but holding the asset, right? And of course, when you have the purchasing power, when you're able to purchase, you can decide when you sell. That's the beauty of being in cryptocurrency. You can buy it at one point and you can sell it at another, and many people have changed their lives because of that. Same thing in real estate. You can buy it at one place and you sell it at another because you've done a few things, you've learned a few things, you held on for a while when things were hard, when things got rough or tough, whatever the case may be, and you were able to see the fruit. And that's what we look for, right? We do look for that in these passive income opportunities. But it's very rare that we see that in the crypto space because there has not been anything to really prove that that's possible. We've seen things that look like, hedge funds and these big accounts and like Novatech where, it's possibly trading up to 3% a day, a week, and things that seem like they are in reach, right? For the person that really doesn't know, right? And whether it takes a couple years or a couple months, if it's not built the right way, it will fail. We've seen it over and over and over again. So one thing that I want us to understand in this space and to not be jaded is there's some things that we have to be looking for, right? And I have to be totally honest and real about this. And I want to start this by saying there is absolutely no shade to anybody that's involved in other opportunities. I do believe that we all have to find what works for us and what we are willing to put our flag in. We all make that choice on a day-to-day basis. So I don't fault anybody for any choice that they have made to back a particular project. And there's many projects out there. But when I'm looking at a project at this point, with everything that I know, I'm looking for a few things, especially if they talk about operating in cryptocurrency. If they talk about operating a token, if they talk about operating on a blockchain or on-chain, if they have on-chain technology, there are certain things that I'm kind of looking for. And like I said before, I am not an expert on this. I have never proclaimed to be a crypto expert, nor will I ever proclaim to be a crypto expert. There is ever-changing technology all the time. But one thing that I do appreciate and understand is the transparency of cryptocurrency while still being anonymous, right? You can see liquidity pools. You can see transactions on-chain, off-chain. As we learn about the different use cases of different cryptocurrencies like XRP, right? XRP was built to have the capabilities to make transactions of just about anything, right? So it makes me think about, if a platform or a program or a protocol says that they operate on-chain or they have a token, or maybe there's a pre-sale for a token, because that's a real thing. It may not be happening in all ecosystems, but when I'm looking at what an ecosystem for a platform is supposed to be, I'm actually looking now for an ecosystem. And a crypto ecosystem, you can see. It isn't just something that someone put together on a timeline and decided to put in a PowerPoint presentation and put out to the world. If a project is on-chain, you can see what it's doing on-chain. That is, to me, and you guys can tell me if your opinion is different. I welcome it all because I want to learn as much as I can. But it seems to me, based on what I have experienced in some of the projects that I've been a part of and some of the things that I know about what cryptocurrency is trying to do and all the different tokens that are out there, there is a token, there is an infrastructure for anything you can transact on-chain. And what gets to me is there's platforms and there's opportunities out there that say they utilize a certain technology, but I don't see a lot of evidence of their work on-chain. And that just gets my gears spinning and makes me want to learn more about blockchain. Doesn't make me want to place blame and say anything is real or not or whatever. I can always have my opinion on whether it is, but at the same time, it gives me things to look at when I'm out there in the space, when there's new projects coming my way. And trust me, I get emails, telegrams, messages all the time about something new that somebody wants me to slap my brand on and say that I'm a part of so that they can, put a little money in a fake account for me and do all this extra stuff, right? We all know how the game go. We know how the game go. And if you don't know how the game go, start sharing a little bit of platform. Start with a platform, have a little bit of success in it, and then see what happens. You'll get hit up from folks all over the world trying to get you to talk about their platform, and they may pay you a couple dollars for a little while. At the end of the day, I believe as we operate in this crypto space, there are some things we just have to learn. And I do believe that whether you're involved in something that's legitimate or not, and I'll just use things that have gone that we already know, right? So we know Novatech is gone. We know crypto program and things of that nature. They're gone. There's been many platforms come and go. Some I've never even heard of. Come and go, right? And what was I getting at with that? In those different experiences, we're supposed to learn something about how this kind of shakes out. One of the biggest red flags that I've adopted, and I didn't always adopt this red flag, was the daily return. We all know that we're out to make, there's a lot of people out there that are out to make just a quick buck. There's a lot of people that are out there just to entice you to get them into their platform from a referral basis. And I don't think anything is wrong with that per se, because companies don't grow without being talked about. Some opportunities and things that are in our regular lives are incorporating referral programs in the growth of their businesses. So I'm not here to tell you that referral programs are bad. As a matter of fact, I'm here to let you know that affiliate commissions changed my life 100%. But it also puts you on watch. It puts you on notice because you want to be sharing things that are helping people. I can't speak on what folks out there want to do, but I want to be sharing things that are helping people. I want to be sharing things that are giving people knowledge. Here's what I was getting at. We learned a lot in those platforms that we were in, like Novatech and Crypto Program. And I talk about this all the time, right? While those were experiences that may not have been the ones that felt the best, because a lot of us lost in those opportunities. Some of the folks that were in from Jump Street, they were able to win, get out and do their thing, come out unscathed. But most of them were shared with others. Most of them were folks that built teams. And most of them have teammates that did not have the same success that they did, right? And they kind of have to live with that. I have to live with all the different people that trusted me and the things that I said about my experiences in certain programs that they decided to join. I kind of have to live with that. What it allows you to do, though, is assess the situation. And what I can tell you that I do believe the masses learned that was positive, right? One of the things that we learned how to do was acquire cryptocurrency. A lot of these platforms out here, they just take your deposits. And, every day, every week, every month, they may allow you to get a little piece of it, right? But what we learned was how to purchase cryptocurrency. Many different cryptocurrencies. A lot of the top ones you've seen all the time were ones that were enabling us to do deposits. Ones like Bitcoin, of course, Litecoin, the USDTs. I learned about the different USDTs through these platforms and programs, and gas fees, and how you need Avalanche to move Avalanche-backed things, and how you need Tron to move USDT TRC, and how you need Ethereum to move USDT ERC20, and all these different things that we learned in the process. We learned some very valuable information in the process of being a part of these platforms that have come and gone. We've learned how to send said acquired asset. When the different QR codes or when the wallet address would show up and tell us exactly how many Bitcoin to send, 0.09257 or whatever the case may be of whatever coin. We learned how to do that. There were so many of us that learned how to transact cryptocurrency. And I will always say this, it wasn't cryptocurrency that failed us. It was our decisions and what we did with the asset. We decided to attach it to things that didn't really give us any transparency. We decided to go through things that, we didn't even know. I know when I was in Novatech, I had no idea what a DApp wallet was. And I would consider myself involved in this crypto space heavy. And I didn't really know what a dApp wallet was. I didn't know. I didn't know dApp browsers and the Web3. All these different things that I learned along the way. I just didn't know. All right. Blue Sky says, absolutely, I have learned some things by listening to people like yourself and taking action. I'm an adult, making adult decisions, no regrets here. Exactly. And that's a mature way to think about it. I think that when you come in with the right expectations, then you can kind of handle it that way. There's a lot of folks that are seeing these platforms or hearing about these opportunities, and they're not getting the real. They're getting the hype, and they're buying the hype. They want to be excited about something in life. They want something to attach themselves to and say that it's successful and it's working. They get excited about it. They even double down, triple down, quadruple down in it because they're so excited. And they think that, in them tripling down and doubling down and doing whatever, that it'll get other people to do the same thing too. And while that may be the case, it puts a lot of people in bad situations. And we have to always practice risk management. And no matter what we're doing, we have to assess our responsibilities. We have to assess our priorities. We have to assess our goals. And we have to also assess our own effort level. Another thing that we don't talk about a whole lot is in this passive space, the effort level can be on different extremes, right? You're going to have folks that are all in, right? Folks like myself and Jackson Armstrong and Anthony DeLoach and Lambo Drew and Vaughn and all these different people that are out here in the space that are all in, and Blue Sky and all these folks that are out here in the space that are all in about what they're interested in, what their platforms that they are locked in on, right? There's that extreme. We're getting out there, we're talking to people. Some of us are even hosting events. Some of us are doing what they believe it takes to grow a project. And this is in passive income now, right? And then it's on the other side, you got folks that don't do nothing but make a deposit, and they don't stay informed. They don't log in. They don't see, keep updated in what's going on in the project. They don't stay engaged. They probably just trusted the word of somebody who said they can make a little bit of money, and you just sit in and forget it and check on it later. One of the things that I realized very early in this space is you should never, ever set it and forget it in this space. Don't do it. Always be paying attention to what you have placed your money in. And I think that's a general rule of thumb. If you're going to invest in anything, you should be paying attention to what you're doing and what you're investing in. In the stock world, my mentality has been, I don't even really invest in anything I am not paying attention in or paying attention to. I don't invest in anything I'm not interested in. I invest in my interests. That keeps me engaged. That keeps me engaged in what the company's doing and what the stock is doing. And the same thing goes with crypto and these different platforms that I'm in. The main thing that really drew me to Movequest was I have the ability to mine a cryptocurrency. Now let's think about that just for a second, all right? Being able to mine, wouldn't we all have loved if we had some foresight and knew where Bitcoin would be today? Wouldn't we have loved to be able to mine it when it first started? Would you guys have gone through all the different years of it not being regulated and not knowing enough about it and going through paper wallets and all that different stuff to be able to mine Bitcoin when it was like pennies on the dollar, and you could mine a boatload of it with a small computer? If we knew what was going to happen in 2026 and 2025, 2024, I'm pretty sure all of us would have taken the time to figure out how to mine Bitcoin. And that probably would have accelerated the process of Bitcoin being adopted in the world. But of course, everything in its time. Everything happens when it's supposed to happen, right? So with me and Movequest, it came to me in the perfect time. I was going through a lot. I was going through the decline of many different platforms and projects here in this space. We had gone through the ups and downs of so many different projects being so successful and then just collapsing on us. And especially with me, I had a lot of capital in these projects. So then you're just like trying to figure out what's the next thing, right? I adopted in my own personal life a workout regimen, and I wanted to get in the best shape of my life. I told myself, honestly, I'm not about to be broke and fat at the same time. It's not about to happen. You can ask my people. I told that to my dad. I told that because I think I heard it on Instagram or something like that. I heard it in a meme or something, but it just resonated with me at that time. I was like, I refuse to be broke and fat at the same time. One of them's got to give. And then I just started working on the one that I could control the most. And I found that I could control the fat part. I learned more about calorie deficit and what to put in my body and how much my body can take on a workout. Now, mind you, a little context, I am a former college athlete. I played dual sports in high school. I'm a person that grew up being active. I've been active my whole life. My whole family is active. Everybody is active that could. The only person that was not active was my mother, and that's because she was a quadriplegic. All right. She was very active in her mind and in her spirit. All right. So everybody was still active. Okay. But Movequest just came along at the perfect time for me. It resonated with what I wanted to do. That's right. You can't be broke and big back, Blue Sky. One of them got to give. All right. I was already being called wide back. I was already called wide back. Right. I made 250 look real good. When I was with folks, and I look at pictures from the conference we had in DC and some of the events that we've done over the years where I actually got to be with some of my colleagues and my brothers and sisters out there in this space and got to break bread with them. I was big, y'all. I was big. I was walking around 240, 250 pounds. And it was fluffy. And I thought I was doing something. I thought I was just a little fluffy. Oh, no. You don't really see the difference until you get it off you. But anyway, it just came to me at the perfect time. Some folks are going to attach themselves to platforms and projects that just feel right at the perfect time. And they jump in them and they go gung-ho and they do the best that they can. But one thing that I encourage everyone to do, especially if you're going to attach yourself to something in this crypto space, do some research on the technology of the crypto. If they're talking about having a token, if they're talking about having different technology, do some research on what they have developed. They should at least have some light papers, some white papers, some something. If they are taking your money and they're talking about having a token, you need to be doing some research about said token and said technology. That's one thing that I've learned with Movequest. We are far enough along in our crypto journey universally, whether you are a crypto expert or not. The people that run these platforms and projects and protocols in crypto, they know enough to know that they can get a token listed. They know enough to know that they can have light papers and white papers developed and tokenomics developed before they launch a project. They know enough to know they can have pre-sales and all these different things. They have choices on how they want to launch. And my thing is, if they are taking your crypto before they have given you anything like that, that's a huge red flag to me. And, we live in a time where, NFTs and all that different stuff out there, we can transact our crypto for real cryptocurrency assets like NFTs. So while I know that that technology is real and it exists, that is also on chain. So there's been many platforms out there that we've been involved in that, you got these fake NFTs and all this different stuff. But if you own an NFT, you can see it on chain. If you own something in cryptocurrency, you can see it on chain. Regardless of what chain it's on, every blockchain has its own website in which you can click the transaction ID and you can look at the transaction and see what's going on. You can see what liquidity pool it came from. You can see an array of information that I don't even fully understand yet. I'll be real with y'all. There's so much to learn in cryptocurrency. I don't want it to intimidate us from getting involved in different projects, but I want us to be mindful. I want us to learn as we start to continue on in this space. We shouldn't just be continuing to make the same mistakes over and over and over and over again. We shouldn't continue to see the same things in the same doo-doo wrapped in different packaging. We got to be really looking for where the technology is. We're in 2026. If they claim to be a cryptocurrency project, we need to see the technology. I don't just want to see, we saw in Bit Harvest where they claim to have these little USBs, right? These little things that look like this in a tower far, far away that only a few people in life have seen and got to walk through it and take a look at. And next thing you know, they're gone. Next thing you know, they're gone. Right? I need to learn more about nodes, Blue Sky. Because one of the things that's coming, some things that are coming in Movequest, like validators and things of that nature. This is crypto lingo. Validators, nodes, NFTs. That's crypto lingo. Blockchain, transaction IDs. Now, we used to say transaction IDs all the time because it was like, if it ain't batch ID, then it's not paying immediately. And when you stop seeing batch IDs, that means you know it's about to stop paying. That's how we kind of learned about what transaction IDs were. But what they were was just letting you know that there was a transaction being made. And if you would have dug deeper into that transaction ID, you might have been able to see where the money came from and not exactly who it came from or where geologically it was coming from or geographically is what I meant to say. But anyway, all that being said, I am a person that is still excited about the prospects that we have in this space. And I want us to all be encouraged, but I also want us to take our assets very seriously, okay? And there's a few things that I want to just mention to us as far as security is concerned. Of course, you all know I say put 2FA on all the platforms that will allow you, all the wallets that will allow you. If you have a wallet and it has 2FA, use it. If you are in a protocol or a platform that has 2FA, use it. All right. It is one of the basic security measures in cryptocurrency and out of cryptocurrency because people still use 2FA for many different things. But it's something that you should be using, all right, as a security measure. When we are talking about cryptocurrency and your wallet security, okay, there's a couple things. You never want to give anybody your 12 or 24 word key phrase. That is your key phrase, all right? The only people you really even want to consider is folks that are tethered to you till death, right? Maybe your wife, maybe your kids, all right? And you hear me say maybe, because these are your assets. Now, if you are here to share those assets with your people, then they should know. I feel like it's important that they should know how to access those when the time comes, right? Another thing, phishing links. People click on links all the time. They get emails from folks that don't even have, from opportunities that don't even have your email address. For example, I'll use this as an example. Movequest is a 100% decentralized project, right? So it's not asking you for your email address. It only works through your wallet address through your Web3 browser, right? Which doesn't ask you for your name. You can set up a username and stuff like that in the Movequest system, but it is not something that is asking you for your email address. So there was a time where folks were getting emails from what they thought was Movequest.com, right? It wasn't Movequest.com. It was Movequest.something else. But some people clicked on these links and gave, through those links, those malicious phishing links, they gave access to people that could take their cryptocurrency. And this is why we have to be very diligent and vigilant in this space. All right? When we acquire the asset, we spend our hard-earned money on some Bitcoin, whatever it is out there that we're trying to, or some MQT, or whatever token it is out there that we are trying to acquire. We need to make sure we secure our assets, all right? Don't give anybody your key phrases. Don't click on any links from any project or platform that isn't verified. For Movequest folks, if it doesn't say movequest.com, do not click on it. If it says movequest.biz, if any these random links, and you got to think about the things you've been a part of. If you're in the decentralized space, chances are you didn't give them your phone number. Chances are you didn't give them your email. Chances are your link and tie is through your wallet and your Web3 DAT browser. So if you're getting malicious, if you're getting these random links or one of the ones that was around early, I'm sure they still do it now. I would be on YouTube, right? And because I had an interest in XRP, the algorithm was showing me things about XRP. So they would have Brad Garlinghouse on this loop on a YouTube live, right? That somebody had constructed, and they would say, "Hey, if you deposit if you send your XRP to this address, we'll send it back to you double. You'll earn double. We'll send you back. You send us 2, we'll send you back 5." Right? That stuff was just a phishing attempt. And it was going on, and it was getting a lot of people because a lot of folks were just naive. They don't really know exactly what to do. And there's not a lot of people that was holding their hand and telling them how to secure their cryptocurrency. They just heard about something trendy called XRP and was told they need to buy it. So they learned some things along the way. They learned how to buy it. Unfortunately, they learned how to send it to the wrong person or the wrong entity, or they scanned a QR code that went and took it, whatever the case may be. There are horror stories out there, all right? But we just got to be diligent with our asset, all right? Let me get to this comment section real quick. I see Blue Skies in the building. She is in here going. I says, I'm with you on wanting to understand more about blockchain technology. Lately, I've been learning more about listening to people who run nodes. I just learned a little about why people who mine Bitcoin do not want to accept other things on the blockchain because it clogs the system and creates unnecessary work for the BTC miners. And that's a pretty intricate topic too, because there are a lot of people that still feel that it's a valuable business to be mining Bitcoin, even to this day. But we also know that it's very, very, very expensive. So now it's got people thinking about the unnecessary work and the things that they want to avoid. And now it takes a whole lot of power to mine Bitcoin. All right. So that's a lot to learn about too. But the beauty about where we are in 2026 is there's a whole lot of case studies and a whole lot of folks out there that have attempted to mine a lot of different cryptocurrencies. And we have a lot of stories out there that we can learn from. Another comment says, "You're right. We have to be so careful about clicking on any random links." Yes, we have to be diligent, ladies and gentlemen. In our emails, in our telegrams, WhatsApp, a lot of the times our communities in this crypto space are on these different things like Telegram and Signal and WhatsApp. And because you're involved in these different groups, your name is on a roll, right? You're able, other folks that are in that group that may not have the best intentions are able to see you. And if you are a person that's actively talking in these groups, actively asking questions, or actively making comments, these people will jump into your DMs and they'll take their shot at trying to fish and get whatever you've got. They'll make you think that, and I'm going to get into this topic too, fallen platforms. They'll make you think that, just for an example, a platform that just went away, that is going to come back if you give them $100. We'll go in there and we'll get the crypto that you just put in there. We'll run in there and go get it for you. And all you got to do is send us $100 in BTC. And that was one of the lessons I learned in the first couple months, because one of the first platforms I was in went away and stopped paying. It didn't even necessarily go away. It just stopped paying. Or they would tell you, "Oh, you broke a rule, so we need to kick you out. You're done. You can't make any withdrawals," or whatever. So all that being said, we need to secure our asset. Now, going on from security, because I'm looking at the clock, it's 8:38. Fallen platforms. Platforms that are here at some point and stop paying, disappear, website goes away, any one of those things, right? Some of you may have experienced it. If you have experienced it and you're watching this right now, put a "yep, it's happened to me," or a 1 or something. Put something in the chat that lets me know that I'm not the only person that has experienced a fallen platform, right? For those of you that are watching, if you have experienced a fallen platform before, just put something in the chat that lets me know that is been your experience. I'm not going to say that you'll never experience it if you haven't. I also won't say that you will, because it depends on what you're a part of. If you're investing in Bitcoin, Do I believe that you're going to experience a rug pull? No. Do I think you'll experience the price going up and down? Yes, of course. That's cryptocurrency. But do I think you'll experience a Novatech experience from investing in XRP? I don't. Do I think that you'll experience a Novatech experience for buying Ethereum? I don't. And the reason being is there is real verifiable technology on real blockchain that is attached to that Bitcoin and that Ethereum. There's reasons why people all over the world have acquired the asset. Now, when we're talking about fallen platforms, here's what I want to specifically talk about today. We have seen platforms come and go, and since I'm not seeing any activity in the chat, I'm assuming that nobody has ever seen a fallen platform before, right? So for folks that have never experienced it before, I'm gonna share a quick story with you. There was a platform out there. It was called Novatech, right? Novatech was operating as sort of like a hedge fund for the regular people with cryptocurrency. We could fund our accounts with cryptocurrency. They had different ranks for sharing. They had different roles or titles that you could acquire for the sizable deposit you may have made. You know, I was a person that was excited at one point about being a presidential member of Novatech because I had personally got to the point where I invested over $100,000 and had a $100,000 plus account in Novatech. I was really excited about it. I really thought I had set my family up for success in the future. All these different things that go through your head when you're involved with a platform and you've been around it for a few years. And even though it showed me nothing on chain, other than the deposits or withdrawals that I was able to receive, you know, hopefully days after I would claim it and request it, which we know in real smart contract and real blockchain technology, when you claim your crypto, it's in your wallet immediately. We know that now. We know that now. But before, we didn't really know all that. We thought that there was hedge fund opportunities that could be run by just a couple people, and we didn't know where they were. They had, you know, business licenses and stuff like that they could acquire, but it didn't really share or show any real validity in what they were doing and what they were talking about. So we got so excited, and I don't blame the leaders because we were all drinking the Kool-Aid. We really believed that we were a part of something game-changing. And honestly, the community that was built, I do believe, is a game-changing community. It's one of the communities I felt like would really benefit from some of the things that we talk about today. But I digress, because people go through hurt. It's almost like going through church hurt. You know, you believe in God, but sometimes you just attached yourself to the wrong entity. You just attached yourself to the wrong church with the wrong people, or whatever the case may be, right? And you experience that church hurt. With all that, Anthony Deloach, I know you have. My colleagues in the space, I know that we have. And we've had to shake the dust off and try to rebuild and rebrand and do all these different things when that stuff happened. But one thing that we have to learn about some of these projects, about 99.999% of these projects and platforms, if they stop paying, if they go away, if their websites go away, if they, there's going to be some things out there that get cease and desist and documentation from governments and provinces to shut down and all this different stuff. We've seen a lot over these last few years in the space, ladies and gentlemen. And one thing that I will say is when these platforms stop paying and they go away, I have no belief that they are going to come back. The only thing that I possibly believe in as far as even getting my a quarter, half, any percentage of my funds back from said project is if they are seized by the government of some sort and the money is put in a receivership, and then at that point I have to prove that I made these deposits, right? And the beautiful thing about cryptocurrency is that if you made these deposits and you have a wallet address, then it shouldn't be that difficult to show that you have made those deposits, right? So if it ever gets, wrapped up, like one example I have is a Mini FX. It got grabbed up by a receivership. You know, the CEO, I believe, is still in jail right now. But there was some money released to people in the community that could prove that they made deposits, and some people got a certain percentage of the funds that they deposited back, depending on how much they were able to withdraw during that time. So, all that being said, I'm hearing about platforms that are supposedly coming back. We've seen WCT, World Class Traders on Telegram. Some of us understand what that is. They said they're coming back. We've heard about COTPS AI said it's coming back like 12 times over the past 6 months or whatever. Ladies and gentlemen, they're not coming back. Okay? They are not coming back, in my opinion. I always have to preface that. This is just my opinion. But in my opinion, they're not coming back. Okay? It worries me when I get messages from leaders that also send out messages to their teams. And they say, hey, did you hear that COTPS is coming back? Now, I get it, right? Here's the part of it that I understand. We have a responsibility as leaders, right? As people that were involved in these platforms, like myself, right? It is up to us to let people know what people are saying, if we choose to. If they're saying that the rumor is that it's coming back, we can acknowledge that, hey, the rumor is that it's coming back. It is then up to us to make a choice and a decision based on the things that we have learned and seen in the space. And knowing that these platforms do not come back should be every indication. I have not seen a platform come back over the last 5-6 years that I've been doing this, ladies and gentlemen. I have not seen not one, not uno, that has left us and has come back. Now, we're grateful to have some things out here like Movequest that's been around since well before 2024, but I got involved in 2024, and it's been here, and everything's on chain. So it's one of those platforms that enables us to learn a little bit about Bitcoin, about cryptocurrency, I should say, not Bitcoin in particular, but learn what we should be seeing in different projects. It also has never left. It's never had a cease and desist. It's never had a moment where they said they got hacked and they got all their funds taken. All the crazy stuff that we hear on a day-to-day basis in this space. So I just want to reiterate that for those of us that are leaders out here, for those of us that want to be leaders in this space, some of this stuff we have to take on the chin as learning experiences, all right? I learned very early that I'm never on here trying to entice anybody to do anything that they don't want to do. I am always on here sharing my own experiences and things that I have gone through and that I have worked through and I have seen. And fortunately for the rest of you guys that are watching my content, I have seen and been through a whole lot of stuff in this crypto space. So the things that you see me talk about now is because of all the things that I've been through, watched, and seen and taken part of. Anything from, like I said before, hedge funds in crypto and PAM accounts to, fake NFTs to, matrix programs and different things of that nature, to anything you can name. There was a platform that said it had something to do with it. I remember when I first got, like the first year I was involved in this platform space, there was something called, something that had to do with a chicken. But it really was trying to tell us on the homepage that they make their income from farming and raising chickens and other livestock. And I saw, as a naive person in this space, I said, the website looks cool. I can make a deposit of $10, $20, $50 in something that's paying 10% a day. And it was something crazy like that. But we have to do a little bit better. We have to use our discernment just a little bit more. So that's what I wanted to say about that. I don't want to belabor that topic. There's going to be platforms. There's going to be folks out there on Telegram and WhatsApp and all these different things. They're going to prey on folks that were just going through some negative experiences with certain platforms. I can just about guarantee you, if another platform goes away, maybe it's, I won't call the names of the projects out there because I don't want anybody to think I'm hating. But if a platform goes away, I just about guarantee you that there's going to be somebody out there that tries to prey on the hope that the platform is going to come back. They may reach out to the known leaders of said project. They may reach out to people that were in the project. All this different stuff, because some of these projects are going to ask you for your email and have all this cute little sign-in stuff and all that that I realize really isn't necessary in real decentralized platforms. And they're going to reach out to you, and they're going to try to prey on the hope that a platform is going to come back. They might tell you, hey, we can get in there and access your funds. Send us $2,000. They may come in your email and say, hey, if you give us your 12-word key phrase, we'll send the money back to you. They may say, hey, come over to this new website and put in your email and your password in this new website, and then you'll be able to have access to your old funds. And then you jump in there. Like, here's one thing that I'm seeing in AICOTPS, right? They're trying to prey on folks. They said that they've gotten all these ambassadors in different countries and different stuff like that. So I'm in the America Telegram group, and I'm in the Worldwide Telegram group, and they've got these select few people that they've chosen to be ambassadors of different provinces and places all over the world. And they have apparently given those people access to the new COTPS. Now, mind you, COTPS, based on what was being promoted, this AI version was supposed to have been out and launched and had people access to it and people withdrawing from it and all that, right? But in this account that they keep showing that is doing this live trading that they said is going on, it also says under this big exorbitant number that they're supposedly trading on, withdraw in 66 days. Now, come on. You really think they're going to let you withdraw any money in 66 days? I can guarantee you they're not. So please don't put any new money into any platform that has gone away, stopped paying, anything like that. We have all experienced some stuff like this in this space, and it's jaded a few of us. Some of us aren't even willing to do the work to understand and know what a legit platform and project is. And honestly, I feel like if you have that mindset, then you should not be in this space. You should just go back to doing whatever you were doing. If you're not willing to learn some of these things along the way, then you should just go back and do whatever you were doing. If you truly believe that you were going to earn passive income by taking some of your hard-earned money in crypto and then just depositing it into something and not doing anything, you're living in a land of make-believe. It's not going to happen. Even the leaders in this space that understand the money game and the making money in this space, they understand they got to do something. They got to make videos. They got to put content out there. They got to share what their deposits have been. They got to share their withdrawals. They got to share information on how to get involved, how to make a deposit, how to do this, how to do that. They have to share information. Right? If I want people to join Movequest, I have to share information. I have to get out here and talk about it. I have to get out here and share what the opportunity is to make money and how to do that. And I think that's what the title of this video is. So I probably should get into that pretty soon. It's 8:53. So I probably should get into that pretty soon. All right. I might have to change the title of this video. It's just BOJ Talks. Just BOJ Speaks. We don't talk real today. But all that being said, we need to be vigilant. We need to be diligent and vigilant. All right. Blue Sky says, thank you. Oh, first of all, Anthony Deloach, you said I have. I hope I mentioned that you said that you have. And we know we, as leaders, have been through this stuff in the space. Blue Sky says, thank you for speaking about this. I have watched some leaders continue to tell their team to just be patient and hold on long after the platform is over and done. And can I be honest for a second? I can't blame them for doing that. They may truly believe out of naivety that it's coming back. They may have that blind hope because they've never been involved in anything like this before. I remember when I first got in my first program, I did not believe what was happening was real. So I messed around and put $30,000 in it. Now, however I got that $30,000 is nobody's business. But at that time, that was like all I had. But I got so excited about it. But I didn't have, when it went down, I didn't have the notion that I needed to tell people to hold on and wait around and all this different stuff. The leaders in the space that were here before me, they found me. And they told me when these things go away, they don't come back. And I learned that early. I had the ability to share that with the people that watched me early, and that's what I did. I shared with folks. While we may believe that something's going to come back, it's usually not. All right? So there's some platforms out there, there's some leaders out there, and they have to assess their own situations. Some people are just trying to keep their communities intact, and I understand, because to have success to the next opportunity, you might want to have your community intact. You might want to still have some belief within your community. The way that I kept the belief in my community is just keeping it real. We've been a part of things that looked really good, and we're a bunch of garbage. It had everything you'd want to see face value, but everything past that was garbage. It was no substance. It was no technology behind it. It was really a bunch of crooks. And we learned that the hard way, all right? We learned that in this space the hard way. But the thing about learning is you hopefully don't have to make the same mistakes over and over and over again. You learn from your mistakes and you move forward in a better way, all right? Blue Sky says it's important to be transparent and allow others to make an informed decision. You've been clear from what I've observed. Hey, that's all I've tried to do. And Blue Sky, I don't know how long you've been watching me. But I have from Watermind, the very first platform I've ever talked about. As I learned, I shared, and I think that's our responsibility as content creators, as people that try to educate, as folks that are in this space that are trying to help people navigate the space in healthy ways. It's important for us to share this information. Anthony Deloach says, when it's done, it's done. And brother, and we've lived through and seen some things that some would say are traumatic. But sometimes you just got to peel that Band-Aid off, put some Neosporin on it, and keep on moving. All right? And that's what we've been able to do. And we've been able to persevere and have success outside of these failures that have been learning lessons for us. So hopefully folks that are watching this can take heed. Now, I want to talk about Movequest a little bit, y'all. So the first thing that I want to share with everybody is we're having a call tomorrow night that I think everyone needs to hear. Everyone needs to see. Everyone needs to be on the call tomorrow night. I believe it's going to be at 7 p.m. Eastern. I'm going to put that in my Telegram group. I have a Telegram group for my Movequest folks. It should be in the description of this video. If it's not, it's in the description of all the other videos that I've done that aren't live. So you can go check it out there. You can also email me. You can Telegram me. My email is bankofgerald@protonmail.com. You can hit me up on Telegram at bankofgerald, and that's it. No space, no nothing, just at bankofgerald. You can holler at me there. I'm not hard to find, ladies and gentlemen, so if you ever have questions for me and what I'm involved in, if you ever want me to look at a platform and give you my opinion on what I see, I'm always there to do that. I might have to start charging people to do that, maybe like, $10 or something, because people just be sending me a bunch of crap. I get tired of looking at crap sometimes. But anyway, I want to talk about Movequest, and I'm just going to talk about it real briefly because I know I'm pressing against time. But the first thing that I want everybody to do is I want you to, if you have ever had an inkling, an interest of any kind in Movequest, I want you to go to the YouTube channel. And I want you to follow and subscribe to Movequest's YouTube channel after you subscribe to me, right? Follow and subscribe to me first, all right? And then I want you to go to the Movequest YouTube page, and I want you to subscribe to their channel. I want you to take some time and go and watch some of these videos of these calls that we've been having every week. Lynette, the founder of Movequest, has been extremely transparent about the future of Movequest and even the present of Movequest and what it's going to take for MQT as a token to reach levels that are going to be life-changing from that aspect. What I also want everyone to understand about Movequest is here to change your habits first, right? And get us aware about some of the things physically that we have possibly been taking for granted. Our physical movement, the amount of steps we take, how active we are on a day-to-day basis, it is something that we should not be taking lightly, especially as folks that are seeking wealth and seeking financial independence and freedom and time freedom. We need to be extremely cautious about our health. We need to be aware about our health. And I think that being physically active is one of the most beneficial things that you can do for your longevity here on this planet, here on this earth, in this life. And like I said earlier, and like Blue Sky reiterated, you can't be big back and broke. I couldn't be big back and broke. Maybe you can. Me personally, I could not be big back and broke. And what I'm seeing from Movequest is a legit opportunity to mine a cryptocurrency with value, and still has value to this day. It's at $6 plus right now after launching at $1. It is not one of those pump and dump tokens. When it pumped, it took a little while for it to come back down. And I do not believe it's going to take very long for it to go back up. But here's one of the beautiful things about cryptocurrency. It needs a community. Had Bitcoin not had the community of enthusiasts and believers that it has, it wouldn't be as big as it is today. Had some of the folks that sat there at the forefront of its inception and its different use cases and the ecosystem being built and all this and being adopted now to this current day, had it not had a community of people that believed in it, that used the product, that were currently lives being changed from it, I don't believe that it would be or have the success that it has today. And the same falls true with any token that's out there in the space. If it doesn't have a community of believers in that token or in that project or protocol, it won't be successful. Here's why I believe that everyone across the world can get around Movequest, is because everyone across the world, if you wake up in the morning, I think one of the things that we take for granted the most is our ability to move our bodies. And if we have that ability on a day-to-day basis, I can just about guarantee you that 95% of the world is monetizing their movement in some way, whether you're going to work, whether you're working for somebody, whether your body is a part of a statistic for someone else's business to where they're earning money from just you being alive. Your social security number has its own benefit to the government. All these different ways that our bodies are making money, right? But is that money going to us? Is it something that is benefiting us? That's the question I think that we all should be asking on a day-to-day basis. And I think that this very practically allows something that we do hopefully every day, is put one foot in front of the other to add to our value financially, not just in our and how it adds to our value with our own personal bodies, but financially as well. Movequest gives us that opportunity. Let me get to the nitty gritty about what I want to discuss and what I think is happening right now. In this crypto space, right, we have been so attracted by what is going to pay us right now. How can I break even? How can I turn whatever I've deposited and whatever I've placed into a platform or whatever I've purchased, how can I make that make money for me? How can I turn that into an income for me? How can I take this $100 and make $150? How can I take this $200 and make $400? That's the kind of process, some of us may not be on, but a lot of us that are in this space, we're on that thought process, right? This is the first time that Movequest has presented anything like this as far as that quick money is concerned. Doing the work and then get paid immediately, right? So we already understand that we can mine MQT with our physical bodies. We understand, hopefully, that in order to do that, there's some things that we have to get. We have to open mining dock slots, and we have to put the miners that we purchase or mint into these dock slots, so that becomes the apparatus that allows us to mine with our physical bodies. There is a system in Movequest, right, called the hatchery. All right. And we haven't talked about the hatchery a whole lot And I'm not going to talk about it a whole lot in this video, but I'm going to direct you to a video in my Telegram group, which if you're not in it, get in the link. It's in the description of this video. Go ahead and jump into this Telegram group. And I want you guys to, and I'm going to try to pull this up real quick so you guys can see what I'm talking about. All right, so hopefully you guys can see. This is my Telegram group right here, right? This last video, the Tuesday night call, right? There's a lot of breakdown on what the hatchery can do. This hatchery is pretty much a staking mechanism in Movequest. So a lot of people in this industry, we get wrapped up in the certain percentage per day and a certain percentage per month. That's what's enticing to us. If we can make 0.25 per day, oh great. If we can make 1% a day or 5% a week, that's what gets our blood going in the crypto space. These daily yields, all the stuff that right now I tell people to run away from if they start talking about this kind of stuff in their platform. If they talk about what they can guarantee you on a week-to-week basis or promise you from a day-to-day basis, most of the time it's cap. It's just what they can do for a little while, and then they'll move the goalpost until they can't pay you anymore, and then they stop paying, right? But what Movequest has developed is an apparatus called the hatchery, which allows you, and I'm going to jump into this sharing screen of the hatcheries right now, right? We all, for those of us that are in the Movequest ecosystem, you understand that submitting your proof of physical activity is what allows you to not only mine the token MQT and participate in the ecosystem of Movequest, right? But it also allows you to participate in the hatchery and get the rewards that are due from the hatchery. All it needs is you to submit your proof of physical activity. It doesn't matter whether you're a person that has 18 Titans docked in all your mining dock slots, or you just have one dock slot open with one navigator or trailblazer in it, right? It really doesn't matter. All that it matters for the hatchery is how much Movequest you've deposited in the hatchery and that you make your proof of physical activity submission, right? To be a part of the Golden Hatchery, you must first take part in the nest, which I think is perfect. The lowest amount of days that you can participate in the Golden Hatchery is 30 days, right? For some folks, that's not a long time at all. For some folks that are used to getting a daily yield or whatever the case may be, that may feel like forever, right? So I won't even get started on what 323 days is going to feel like. But let's just talk about what it takes to get here. Let's just talk about the basic technology that is in these hatcheries. The incubator is its own beast because it allows you to, when you participate in it, to get miners for the participation, but you don't get the MQT back. The nest and the Golden Hatchery is what's allowing you to stake your MQT and be able to get your MQT back along with the rewards that you would get on a day-to-day basis. So let's just use this as an example. We've got plenty of people out there that would say, hey, you know, I want to take part of this passive program out here, and I might have $500 to deposit or $1,000 or whatever the case may be, right? You might be a small player. You might be a big player, right? The nest allows you to minimal deposit of $5 worth of MQT. Right? The MQT is sitting right at, if we update this page, it's sitting right at $6.13 right now. So $5 is a little less than one whole MQT, right? But let's just say I'm a person that wants to put in, you know, $500 worth, right? So if I get my handy dandy calculator and I say I've got $500 worth that I want to put in the nest or one of these hatcheries, because to be able to take part in the Golden Hatchery, you have to first be in the nest or the incubator. All right. Once that finishes, then I think it's actually just the nest, but I'll check in on that. I don't have any more in the incubator. But I know that if you participate in the nest, once you finish your time in the nest, you can participate in any one of these hatcheries here. All right. Some are full to the brim. Tier 5 is full. Tier 4 is about to be at max capacity. All right. So you may have to wait till someone's time finishes. Like I have a couple that'll be finishing in 55 days, 67 days. If I decide to claim these or cancel any of these, which I promise you I'm not canceling them, then I might jump in. You might have the opportunity to jump in the hatchery when it gives you the space to do that. But here's what I mean to say. Let's just say I want $500 worth of MQT, right? MQT is worth $6.13 right now. So I got 500 divided by 613, which gives me 81.56. So 81.56 MQT. As you can see right here, it's about $500, right? So I did my math right. The calculator was right. Now, depending on which one of these tiers I want to participate in, I could go as, this is after the nest, of course, but I could go into tier 1 for 30 days, tier 2 for 75 days, tier 3 for 135 days, 210 days is tier 4, tier 5 is 323 days. Now, I want to remind you that to get these rewards, right, to get the daily reward per MQT, right, which it tells you right here, each tier has its own daily reward per MQT. So if I'm able to participate in that just by making my submission on the blockchain, I could theoretically, right, and in real life, have one miner, right? And if we look at these pricing right here, one miner, let's just use the Trailblazer for 10 cents. Each Trailblazer that you have in a mining dock slot is 10 cents worth of submission fees in AVAX to mine with said miner, right? That's how I come up with my submission fees, because I have 18 Titans docked in 18 docking slots for 41 cents each, which means I have to pay around $7.43 in submission fees. Now, one Trailblazer, 10 cents, let's just say one Trailblazer, one docking slot, 10 cents per day, right? For 10 cents per day, and then I decide, just for my submission, that's 10 cents a day, but if I go in the hatchery and I have this 81 or whatever, I'm going to just put in 82 just because, and I decide to go into the nest or the golden hatchery, all I have to do is submit my proof of physical activity, and I'm getting the daily reward. So some of you guys have said, oh, well, it's too expensive. It's too expensive to submit my proof of physical activity to this project. Well, let me show you the hatchery, right? Because the hatchery will allow you to participate just for purchasing the MQT, right? Which you can purchase right here on the dashboard. You go to buy MQT, it'll take you to Sushi Swap. You're already linked because your MetaMask is here. You can take that and buy MQT right here on Sushi Swap, right? It'll be in your wallet. You can drop it in here, and you can decide to put it in the hatchery. For 10 cents a day, you can participate in that hatchery at any level. At the nest, you can decide to put 100,000 MQT in there worth $613,000 and $902, right? And only pay 10 cents a day in submission fees and be getting 0.0003 per MQT, right? Which is, how many MQT per day is that? So if we do, this is an outlandish example. So I'm just giving it an outlandish example so you guys can kind of understand what the theory is behind it. 100,000 MQT deposited times 0.0003 is 30 MQT per day, right? For a max reward in that 10 days of 300 MQT. Only paying 10 cents per day in submission fees. So yes, there are going to be some sacrifices you make in doing a strategy like that, right? You won't be mining with as much power, right? You won't be mining with the power of 7,200% mining power like I am with 18 Titans. You'll really only be mining with 100% mining power. But when you're doing this, you already decided that you're not participating from the mining. You're not out here trying to kill it on your physical activity every day. You're more of the passive earner. So you may decide, I just want to have one docking slot right now. I want to have one miner, but I want to participate in this hatchery and be able to take advantage of the daily yield that I'm going to be able to get at the end of my time in the hatchery. You may only want to do that 10-day over and over and over and over again. You may decide that you want to jump after you've gotten out of the nest. You want to jump into any one of these tiers from 30 days to 323 days. I am finishing up some tiers right now. As you can see, my total deposit right now in the hatcheries, in the golden hatcheries, and this is my stats, all right? I'm being just transparent. Total deposit, I'm at 540 MQT. Value at deposit just under $6,000. Average MQT price at deposit was $10.91. The current reward that I'm at right now for submitting all the days that I have submitted, and some of these have, I haven't submitted every day. I'm not perfect. For this particular card right here, I have submitted 141 out of the 156 days that I have gone through over the 220 10 days that I'm going to be going through, if that makes sense. But out of all of these different cards that I have in the hatchery, it's showing me my current reward value, which of course continues to go up every single day that I submit. And when these are done maturing, I will have the option to either renew, collect, or that's it. If I cancel right now, what that does is that takes away from all the days that I have put into there as my reward. So I would lose out in this particular example. I would lose out on 2.809 MQT based on this $29 MQT deposit that I made of 8 MQT. I would lose out on this 2.8, but I would immediately get my 8 MQT back and I would do whatever I needed to do with it. That's what canceling does. I have no plans of canceling any one of these. I have a few that are a few $1,000s. This one was 195 MQT at $3,000 at the deposit time. It's already earned me 50 MQT since last November. That's amazing. What if we have some growth in the community over the next few months and MQT goes from $6 to $60? And then by the time June 4th hits, I've got, I don't know what the max amount of MQT that I'll get on that is. But all that being said, when the timer ends in 100 days in this example, that is when I'll get whatever the reward is at that time. So I encourage people to really start looking at this hatchery, especially if you're one of those people that believe that submitting your proof of physical activity is too expensive, right? Here's another thing that you'll miss out on that I really think is really cool. This minor match challenge, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to share where I am right now. Let me look in the comment section real quick. Legacy Superior 1706, what's going on, BOJ? What's happening, my brother? We are here talking about Movequest as we love to do, and we're talking about a little bit of the income potential, the earning potential, and we started off talking with the hatcheries. So I want folks to really kind of see what the hatchery can do. I also want to take this time while I got it right now to let everybody know you need to be on this call tomorrow night at 7 p.m. I believe it starts. Movequest.live. Lynette is going to be on, the founder of Movequest. Of course, you got your teammates Hayden and Herschel. They're going to be on as well. But she's going to really share some amazing things with the community. And I really think it's going to be a game changer in how we are able to earn crypto in Movequest. Not only from what we are mining and what we are earning in the hatchery, but even down to what we are able to earn when we share. All right. So let me just talk about one of the things. Of course, the minor match challenge is one of the things that I think is one of the most impressive things, but some people in the community may not believe that. They may not think that. It excited me so much to have the opportunity, knowing that Movequest is going to be on these different blockchains like Solana and Arbitrum and Binance and all these different blockchains, and have its own blockchain coming, that I could get all of my miners that I have right now in the docking slots matched if I just submit 90 out of the 150 days until the launch of some of this, or the end of this challenge, I'll just say, right? I have 20 days left till I am complete with the challenge, ladies and gentlemen. Now, first of all, it already says a lot with it being around this long, right? For me to be able to say I have been able to submit on the blockchain my proof of physical activity for as long as I have, with this technology since August of 2024. I'm not worried about it going anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. But as far as this miner match is concerned, for those of you that don't believe in submitting your proof of physical activity, this is one of the things that you're missing out on. And there will come a time where these miners are going to be extremely valuable, even the lower level ones, even the navigators, the trailblazers, the explorers. They are going to be extremely valuable. For me, just deciding that I am going to take 90 days of sacrifice and knowing that I pay $7.40, I can do the math on that, right? $7.43 times 90 days. A whopping investment of a total $668. I have spent $668 on so much BS. And I can speak on that because I've done it. Now, some folks can't say that they have. But I've spent way more than $668 on things way less valuable, that had way less value and added way less to my life, actually subtracted from my life, than I have spent in just being a part of this challenge to secure $80,000 worth of miners. And the only reason I know that number off the back of my head is because I've already done a video of why I will be participating in the miner match challenge before this even started. It was a no-brainer for me. For me to be able to get 18 Titans and 18 docking slots opened on 6 different blockchains was a absolute no-brainer, and all I had to do was set aside $668 to submit on the blockchain at the highest level that you're going to be able to submit in 90 days. It doesn't get much more expensive than the way that I have it set up currently for me. All 18 of my docking slots open, $80 each, right? You can do the math on that, with the exception of the first one, which is free. And then getting a Titan, right? Which we know you have to first mint Vanguards, and then you have to combine 2 Vanguards together. So I have been in this long enough, and I have invested quite a bit in my own personal stake in this platform. But ladies and gentlemen, these are NFTs that I own, that I can find on the blockchain, that have their own ID numbers. They are all different and all unique. And I'm so excited about the future of Movequest and these miners and what we're going to be able to do with them. Not only just how it's changing people's lives physically, because people are actually out there moving their bodies now. They're putting these miners to work, and they are mining MQT, ladies and gentlemen. I promise you that. The numbers may be declining for whatever reason. Some people have said it's because it's getting a little bit expensive and the price of AVAX is going down and all these different things. But to me, honestly, the price of AVAX can do whatever it's going to do. It's still going to cost me a certain amount per miner, per docking slot that I have open. So to me, that's not really an excuse. Now, for those of us that have purchased AVAX and just have held it, and you've seen the value of it decrease, that's another thing. Me personally, that's an opportunity to buy another asset at a low price. We're buying AVAX at a low price. AVAX is an on-chain token, has its own blockchain, as a matter of fact, because we operate on it. So all that being said, this is another way that is very, very, when it comes down to this challenge, right? I feel like people are missing out on what this challenge really is. And it's not for me to try to convince any of you of how important it is to have these miners and what kind of stake that you want to have in this platform. I'm going to just live by an example, right? You guys can see a person that is invested in this project like myself, all the docking slots open that you can have, submitting as many days as possible, right? I'm not going to say I've been perfect. You can actually go to my dashboard and look at my full details now. And I don't know if it even shows you. Does it show you? It may not show the exact, but I'm sure folks that have been mining and submitting their proof of physical activity every day, they have less days remaining. I've missed a couple days. I'll be upfront about it. But that's one of the ways that we are able to earn. And here is the quickest way. I'm going to share with you guys the quickest way. And here's the way that I really think is game changing for folks that are new. And for those that have been here. we have never had an opportunity as we get these miners, right? These trailblazers and explorer miners, right? We have the ability to help folks get involved in this project, right? And here's just a couple things that a person would need just getting involved with this project. They need MetaMask. You need to have MetaMask. If you want to use it on your desktop, get the MetaMask browser extension. Get the extension on your Google Chrome browser, all right? It's very easy to get. It's very easy to link to the MetaMask that you already have. And if you're on your phone, you can use MetaMask, the DAT browser, and just put in movequest.com. And when it's time to get started, what you want to do is you want to put in the person's username or the wallet, the one that referred it to you, into the place where it asks you to put the code. Your activation should check out. You go and download the application from the App Store, whether it's Google Play, whether it's Apple Store. You go and download the app. You finish your setup. Make sure that you're getting 100% complete. You will need Avalanche in your MetaMask wallet, okay? You will also need, once you download the app, you will also need to send some Avalanche, I would say maybe $5, to the in-app wallet that it will give you the wallet address for when you're going through setup on the application, okay? When you get there, it'll give you a wallet address to send some Avalanche to, all right? You can also send that Avalanche to your wallet from your dashboard, okay? So if you are already connected to your MetaMask on Google Chrome in your dashboard, right here on the top right of your dashboard, if you click on dashboard, it'll say fuel your in-app wallet. And you have a bunch of different options here. You can fuel it with AVAX, MQT. It'll also read how much MQT you have in your wallet. I can decide to put it in my internal wallet. The Q chips is going to be a game changer. We'll talk about that in just a second. USDT is also going to be used very soon, all right? A lot of folks had said that they wanted to have something that was pegged to the dollar to be able to make their submission. So when they have a price or something like AVAX that's going down in price, you have a stable token that you can do submissions with. That is going to be coming as well. Let's clap it up for that. That was on the call last night, by the way. Y'all should check that out. But all that being said, you have the ability to send from your MetaMask to your in-app wallet address the AVAX that you would need in your application to finish that startup process in the app, all right? Once you have done that, you have done everything that you need to take a part of what Movequest is. There are videos to help you to get through that part in the Help Center, on the dashboard, and in your application. So you can go there and check that out as well. Very comprehensive. The videos, documentation, even the smart contracts, ladies and gentlemen. Everything down to the smart contracts of every token that is even involved, down to the hatchery, the evolution, the phantom miners. All the contracts are right here. Here's another thing I'll just bluntly say. If your project is not giving you contract addresses to the different things that it says that it's doing, I would be leery about it, especially in 2026. It'd be different if this was some game-changing technology that somebody just had not seen before, we never heard of before. No, this is something that every project can do. And I believe every project can do it because Movequest did it. They gave us access to all the different token addresses that we are going to need, down to the NFTs, down to the airdrops, down to the projects that have a relationship with Movequest, like Bullish Moon, the educational token, down to GFAM, what the Movequest token used to be called. All that different stuff is right here. You can access it, you can see it. So with that being said, I want to get to the topic of being able to earn immediately with Movequest. When you help somebody use their Q chips, right? And Q chips is something that you can purchase right here in the back office. Let me see if I can find where to do that at. I think it's in wallets. Might not be in wallets. It might actually, oh, it's in the store. Duh. You want to buy stuff, go to the store. So, in your store, we haven't talked much about limit, performance, and rest boost today, all right? But there's information there on them. These are other tools that keep you engaged, ladies and gentlemen. I use a boost every day, all right? Every day. You want to learn more about them? check out this information here. But these Quest chips, or Q chips for short, these Q chips will allow you the ability to purchase miners. All right. When you purchase a Q chip, one Q chip is 10 cents worth of Avalanche. Okay. When you purchase the Q chips, you can use the Q chips to purchase miners, right? These Q chips also trigger a commission. I will say that one more time. These Q chips trigger a commission. When you purchase these Q chips and you use them to purchase your miners, all right, and right now the ones that you can purchase with Quest chips are Explorers and Trailblazers, right? When you acquire those miners, the person that referred you, they are going to get 50% of what it costs to mint those miners. Now, I just want you to think about, just put your sales hat on for just a second, right? Put your sales hat on for just a second. I'm going to pull up one of these Trailblazer miners. These Trailblazer miners have 100% mining power, and they cost $100. For you sharing this with somebody that got one of the lower level miners in the game, right? Trailblazers, just getting them started. You're going to earn $50 worth of AVAX immediately. This is not something you have to wait for. You don't have to wait for the sales check. You don't have to wait for somebody to clear that. You don't have to wait for some other person. You press withdrawal and you have to wait for somebody on the other end to confirm your withdrawal. Because this is a real decentralized project on chain, when you are able to share Movequest with somebody else and they decide to just get started on a minimal level, they open their docking slot for $80 each docking slot, and they decide to put in and purchase Trailblazer miners for $100. You are going to get $50 worth of AVAX right here in this networking section, right? It'll say pay as you mine or minting up here. You'll be able to claim that immediately. So say somebody's watching this video right now. They jump in there. It's like, hey, I love Movequest. I'm trying to get started. I actually started with my Phantom miners, but now I want to go in and I want to get some real miners, right? And there are going to be some updates that come from this way of purchasing miners, and hopefully it happens in a way that you can take these Q chips, however much you purchase, and you can just go to a place in the store. And you can just say, I want these miners. They cost $100. I think it's easier on the application, right? But as this thing grows, we want Movequest to be as easy to purchase the assets that we are trying to purchase as possible. The NFTs that we're trying to purchase as possible. So it's a growing process. It's a growing progress. All right. But when you mine or you buy you get your MQT or you get your AVAX to purchase your Quest chips, and you use those Quest chips to purchase your miners, you're going to get a 50%. The person above you is going to get 50%. When you share it with others and they purchase their first few miners, their introductory miners, you're going to get 50%, as well as the ones that are 100%, 150% mining power, which are the, I want to make sure I'm saying this right, the Explorers, right? So Trailblazers and Explorers. With this Explorer, it's 150% mining power. It costs $150. You're able to mint this miner for $150 worth of Quest chips or Q chips. And as soon as that transaction happens and that person gets their miner, you congratulate them. You've also been able to go into your networking section and you'll be able to see right there, claimable right there, right? As soon as you're ready, as soon as you've done the work, you'll be able to claim your AVAX. What this enables you to do is you might want to pay for your submission fees. You might want to drop it into your submission fee wallet so that you have the fees that you need to submit on a day-to-day basis, so that you can participate in the hatchery, so that you can participate in the miner match challenge, so that you can mine MQT at whatever level you do it, right? It keeps people engaged in the ecosystem. Of course, we're going to be engaged because we're going to be getting our exercise in, and we're going to be walking every day, and we're going to be sharing our fitness results and our fitness goals with each other, and reaching those goals together, right? But we're also going to be able to reach the top of our financial goals through these projects, through this project, and learn a little bit about crypto along the way. So, listen, ladies and gentlemen, I know I've been talking way too long, but this just gets me excited. And there's going to be a lot of people that say, well, I don't know that there's a way that I can make money in Movequest. There are plenty of ways to make a living in Movequest. There's not many opportunities that you're going to have out there in the space to earn 50% commission. And the reason why Movequest can do that is because they are the manufacturers of the products. These miners are being manufactured by Movequest. They didn't have to go out and purchase it from somebody else. They didn't have to get anybody to manufacture it. The items that we're using to mine, Movequest manufactures. They were actually giving away Trailblazers with every one of the docking slots that we opened at for a time. It was a promotion. So they don't need the money from people's purchases of these miners. The ecosystem is strengthened by folks that are engaged in the ecosystem, submitting their proof of physical activity on a day-to-day basis. Think about it. If 10,000 people just decided to be leaders like me, right? Because that's the only thing I can really speak on from example, right? You're paying that $7.43, and not to say all leaders are going to have all Titans and all docking slots, but I'm just saying my kind of leader is leading from the front. My kind of leader is trying to push the envelope on what the capabilities are. And it doesn't really ask of me that much to get to the place where I'm opening all 18 docking slots. I mean, it's really 17. So 17 times 80 is what? $1,300, $1,360 to open all my docking slots, right? And then for me to get all my Titans is another story. But let's just say you got all Trailblazers, $100. So $1,360 times $1,800 for your docking slots. I mean, for your miners, right? So that 1,360 times 1,800, plus 1,800. I'm tripping. Plus 1,800. All in at that level, all Trailblazers in, that's $3,100. Little under $3,200. And I know there's a lot of leaders out there, a lot of people that have put more than $3,200 in a platform that they thought was passive that just went away from them and they lost it. I know I put hundreds of thousands of dollars of crypto into these platforms that are nowhere to be found today. So when I think about how much that I've invested in Movequest, it's nowhere near. And then, of course, the benefit that I've gotten, being able to keep 50 pounds off me, what? No brainer. Right? And I kind of forget where I was going, but I get excited, y'all. But anyway, the opportunity that we have from the direct commission standpoint, from the hatchery standpoint, from the mining standpoint of a token that has value is on chain right now. It's going to be on multiple chains. It's going to have its own chain. There's going to be, let me just say it like this. The days of us seeing Movequest under double digits, I don't believe that they are going to be with us very long. So one thing that our leaders are saying, Hayden is impressing upon some of the leaders and some of the folks in the community, purchase MQT. Take part in the hatchery. Whether you're mining with one miner or you're mining with 18 miners, participate in the ecosystem and let it work for you. Submit every day. Get used to submitting on a day-to-day basis. All right? It's going to build you a habit that is going to help you in Movequest. It's going to build some habits that's going to help your physical activity because you're going to be walking every day and you're going to check your stats and then you're going to submit your proof of activity every day. And then on top of that, on top of seeing the growth that you're seeing physically, and we're going to see this token continue to rise as we see the community come together and continue to rise itself as well. So Ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna go ahead and get off of here tonight. We've been on here almost 2 hours. It's been an hour and 48 minutes, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate y'all dialing in and tuning in for as long as you guys have. I'm always excited about talking about Movequest and the opportunity that is here for us. I might not have gotten to talk about everything that I want to today, but ladies and gentlemen, I really want to just as a short recap, as we go into this space, as we participate in cryptocurrency, let's have some grace for the experiences that may not have been so advantageous to us in our pockets. Let's take some time to learn about the crypto space and learn how to transact crypto, because crypto is not going anywhere. We also need to learn how to secure our cryptocurrency assets. Let's learn how to use wallets with seed phrases. Let's make sure that when we're purchasing on exchanges, we know how to send the crypto that we purchase on exchanges to our cold wallets and wallets that we own the keys to. Because if your wallet does not have keys and you don't have them, you don't own that crypto. Okay? So I know that's a harsh reality for some of us to accept as beginners, but it's worth learning. It's worth taking the time to learn how to get a custodial wallet and have your assets sit there instead of just keeping them on exchanges. Even though exchanges will be regulated and all that different stuff pretty soon, you'll have the securities I think that you will want to see out of all of these top exchanges and all these top wallets. But right now, we need to learn about the technology that's out there. And then, of course, ladies and gentlemen, let's be careful as we participate in this space. Let's have a risk management strategy depending on, or it really doesn't matter what project or protocol or platform that we're taking a part of. Never dump all of your crypto, all of your hard-earned money into one thing. All right? Never dump all of your crypto into anything. All right? If you have to, take it step by step and start to learn and figure out what pace is good for you. Passive platforms in cryptocurrency, I don't want to say that they don't exist, but they're not as passive as you think they are if they do exist. If it allows you to just make a deposit of your crypto and you're not seeing some of the technology that they have on chain, if you're not seeing some of the things that you think that you're acquiring and purchasing, and you're not being able to see yourself have ownership of it on chain, then I do believe you might not be in what you think you are in. And only time will be able to tell that. That's how a lot of us have had to learn in this space. Time just has to go by, and we see certain things happen, and we have to adjust ourselves accordingly. But ladies and gentlemen, let's really be diligent. Let's start to learn about this space if we're going to continue to play. And if we're not going to be able to, if we're not going to take the time to learn, be okay with the loss. All right? I'm not okay with losses, so I learn. I take the time to learn as much as I can so that I can win next time. All right. And I do believe that I'm in my winning season. I do believe that those of you that are watching me right now, you are in your winning season. I do believe that everything that is attached to me is going to win. It's only a matter of time. Like I said earlier, I see it on the timeline. I just don't have the date yet. It doesn't have the date next to it. But I see us winning. And sometimes it takes us taking care of ourselves first. I think Movequest taught me that. I had to take care of myself. I had to take care of this body, this being here, in order to do a greater work in the community. And when that's all said and done, there's still work to do. Still going to be work to do. So I'm going to let y'all go. I'm going to get on off of here as well. I've been talking long enough. I need some water, or a little bit more water than this. And I'm just excited about what's going on in the space. I want us to take some time to learn from the pitfalls and the things that we've seen that are negative, and let's grow upon it. Let's not only grow, but let's continue to impart upon the community all the different things that we've learned. All right? And let's be truthful. Let's be honest. All right? And let's continue to uplift one another. All right? Get on that call tomorrow night, 7 o'clock, movequest.live. You're not going to want to miss it. Lynette is going to be dropping some amazing nuggets for us. And ladies and gentlemen, I do believe that Movequest is going to be the most life-changing project, not only of 2026, but beyond. It's going to help a lot of folks change their bodies and their lives physically. We're going to be a lot more healthy. And then we're going to be a lot more wealthy. We're going to see this token price shoot through the moon. I really do believe it, because that's the opportunity that crypto really gives us. crypto really does give us an opportunity to attach ourselves that can really change our financial lives. But when we've got all that money and all the riches, if we don't have good habits, if we are not forming good habits right now with what we have, then I do believe that when we do receive, we won't know what to do with it. That's another one of those ask me how I know moments right there. All right. I've had some really good days, and I know they're coming again. I know that what Movequest is doing, I'm not going to be worried about money. We're going to be helping folks get their docking slots open. We're going to be helping folks get their miners for $100 and $150. We're going to help them get involved and purchase MQT and take part of the hatcheries, and they're going to see the value of submitting on a day-to-day basis. They're going to see the value of taking part of something like a Movequest that can not only change their physical life, but their physical life. They're going to see the value of it. And those of us that are involved right now, we're going to be benefactors of it. And those of us that are seeing this right now, that are feeling that they want to be a part of Movequest, they're going to jump in and they're going to start to share. And all the people and the leaders that used to be in the space prominent, that got a little jaded by all these different platforms that just came and gone and didn't have what it took to last and survive, they're going to come on back and they're going to be a part of Movequest. And we're going to see a lot of our constituents that we've been seeing on the YouTube screens and posting content. We're going to see them living their best lives, not only fiscally but physically. We're going to see some folks on the beaches of the world enjoying themselves with their families and their friends and all of that different stuff that we had dreams of seeing when we was attached ourselves to all this bull crap out here. It was a bunch of crap. And now I do believe that we've got something we can really latch arms to that has given us what we've asked for, not only from a crypto standpoint of those of us that know a little bit about crypto, but even to the standpoint of those of us that need to learn some more about crypto. This is a great introductory project to start learning how to access a wallet, how to use your wallet. Some of you don't even know what your key phrases are, or where they are, what they're for, how to use them. Some of you have never purchased cryptocurrency in your life. You're going to learn. Some of you have never used a DApp browser or Web3 browser in your life. You're going to learn that it works just like the internet. It's just the internet for crypto. And it's the same thing. You put in a link, you go to the website, but the thing about it is it attaches your wallet as an identifier. You don't have to put in your personal information. Ladies and gentlemen, we are in a time right now that we can truly change our lives with some very practical projects. It doesn't have to take an Einstein. You don't have to be a college educated. You don't even really have to be an adult. You can be a Movequest and be a teenager. You know what I'm saying? You can be a kid. You can be a dog and be a Movequest if you're done. Some of y'all got some smart pets. Anyway, I'm just joking around right now, but thank you guys for tuning in. Blue Sky, as always, Anthony DeLoach, Legacy Superior, and all of the folks that tuned in tonight that may not have said anything but decided it was not robbery to watch me run my mouth about all the things I talked about tonight. I do appreciate y'all tuning in with me. I say this all the time. I will not be a stranger. I'm going to pop in and out every now and then. I have a Telegram group. I share on shorts all the time. I share motivational stuff. I do 50 push-ups every day. So those of you that want to comment on push-ups or get a little challenging of your own, we've been doing 50 push-ups every day for almost a year now. And your boy's chest is looking good. Now we getting ready for the summer. I'm trying to tell y'all, we about to get right. I wish I could go to Miami. But anyway, thank y'all for tuning in.